So everything that our students need to use goes through the Twin Rivers Apps Portal, and you can get there by going to apps.twinriversusd.org. You don't need the www, just apps.twinriversusd.org. And from there, you're going to find your Google Classroom, the Aries Student Portal, Gmail, and online curriculums, and My Backpack, which has assigned curriculum resources by the teacher. All logins are the student's ID number with the student password. So we're going to cover three. If we want to look at the next slide, please. We're going to cover three things today. I'm going to start with the Apps Portal, which I'll share in just a second. We're also going to look at Google Classroom, and then we'll look at Zoom. So these are the three big main things that are going to get your students the instruction that they need. Do you mind if I share screen now? Okay, let me get to where I want to share. Okay, as I said, I'm going to give you guys a walking tutorial of how to use these items, and I'm going to go over the Apps Portal. Then Luke, my partner, my tech coordinator partner, is going to go over Google Classroom, and then we'll come back to me to talk about Zoom. So the first thing that we're going to do, and where our students need to start with their Chromebooks, is at the Apps Portal. So that's apps.twinriversusd.org. And when they do that, oh, it's going to log me in because I'm logged in already. They'll come up with a screen, and I'll show you that at the end because I forgot that I was already logged in. So it's going to log in, and you're going to be able to click a button to log in. I'll show you that in a minute. We're going to go backwards. Sorry about that. So here we are, and this is actually a high school student. So high school and elementary school, they look very similar, but they are a little bit different. All of our applications are differentiated by what grade level and what school site students are at. So if a student is at, in this case, Dry Creek, they're going to have apps that are for both the district-wide and any applications that Dry Creek has purchased for their students. And our other student that we're going to look at is at Highlands High School. And so they're going to have the apps that the district has for all students in high school, and it's also going to have the apps that Highlands High School may have purchased or things that they are using. So we'll start by looking at Dry Creek, and when we look at the one for Dry Creek, you can see there's the Aries student, there's a curriculum folder, they always have their school website, they have Google, and that's going to be based on the age level of the student. All of these things are based on the age level of the school and the grade level of the students. So we have My Backpack, research databases, and social emotional learning. So under curriculum, that is where you're going to find the main curriculum items. So that's going to be our SWOON. It's going to be iReady. For our EL students, you're going to have Imagine Learning there. You have Studies Weekly for grades K through 5. And so this program is for grades TK through 12th grade. Actually through adult are going to be using the Apps Portal to access their materials. So you can see that they have everything that they need, easy to get to. And when they click it, if it has some of the apps are going to just launch and they'll be logged in. Some apps might require a login. Most apps should just log the student in right away. For Google, you can see that under Google, we have the things that this age appropriate for our students at Google. So they're going to have their Gmail. All students have a Gmail. That's their email address, is their student ID number at twinriversusd.org. They have a calendar, Google Classroom, Google Drive, and Google Earth for this grade level student. They also have learning tools that are additional things that teachers might be using, or additional things that might help your student, and maybe even be some like expanded learning type ideas, like Pixar in a Box might just be some additional things for you to have your student do or child. The next one, My Backpack, we'll talk about in a second. The research databases, all of our students have access to research databases where they can do research. Again, this is based on grade level appropriateness. So each one of these will be things that the students can use, like Britannica Schools, to look up anything that they need to do research on for their classrooms. And social emotional learning, we have a couple things that can help students with their social emotional learning and be able to use those apps either with their teachers or on their own to really make sure that their mental health and their social emotional learning is supported. My backpack is dedicated by each teacher, so I'm not going to click into this one because I don't want to show student privacy, but my backpack can get clicked in 2 places. My backpack is a place where students can get applications that their teachers have assigned to them. So these are specific apps their teachers are asking them to use, or that they're rostered into, like iReady. And within that, they can then access all their information from that. So this allows our teachers to also customize the application that students are using. So maybe your teacher for a kindergarten student might be asking them to do some work on Starfall. So they might put Starfall into my backpack. When we look at a high school student, it looks very similar, except for now we start adding in a couple of things, and it's going to look a little bit different because now they're going to have the applications that support their learning. So they're going to have their Edgenuity, they're going to have their AP if they're high school students have access to AP, and they're going to have their math. So there's the difference with that is going to be the applications that are needed for them. Also in Google, you can see Google, they have a wider range because the appropriateness for Google goes up as students get up or move up in the grade levels. They also have their school, they have their library in this case, they have the backpack too. So in theirs, they're not just going to have one teacher. So an elementary student would have their one teacher. They will actually see all of their periods. So every one of their teachers can assign by period the applications that they're using. And they also have a larger range of research databases available to them. So that is the basics of the apps portal. There are some things that students can do if they go, I'm not going to hover up here, but this area up here where it's a student icon, that is, they can actually do some editing to make it so that they have a nice theme in the background that they want, or choose a profile picture. And if you have a K through 2 student whose teacher has enabled quick cards, you can print off a quick card in that area too.